ultimately, you want to be able to report up to the C-suite. You want to report up to the board of directors and let them know this would be like the real goal to get to say, okay, not only do we have a real good handle on what we're doing, but we're tracking everything we can track. We're seeing what's working. This is what's working. And you're not necessarily giving them the minutia, but you're giving them these high kind of pillar metrics. And the way I advise my clients is to look at two major kind of umbrella metrics that are not really metrics at all. They're really more modes of mechanisms in which the other metrics fall below. One of them is volume, because every company wants to have more, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean exponentially more, but are we incrementally or exponentially growing the number of everything coming through the funnel, including opportunities closed? And the other one being sort of this, the speed at which those new leads are flowing through to sales, and then even through the sales pipeline themselves. So for me, I feel like as we get close to sort of buttoning this up, I would say now that you're looking at all this data and getting your now what you didn't know before, so you're more informed of how to use the tools, and maybe now you're at a dream data stage where you can use really good qualified tools. You have to now push up the right narrative and numbers to leadership. So I'd be curious to hear what you think about that thinking and how you guys think about it.
I think it's a good way of thinking about it, Lee. I think, to be successful in marketing is one thing is that you constantly explain the organization why you're doing things, because you need to be assigned budgets, you need to have like buy-in that it's working. And then I would say a good thing to report on would probably be to explain as much as you can of the pipeline to your whoever you're reporting to. So let's say you have like this classic, you have an outbound team and they book some meetings. They would probably know kind of somewhat the percentage of how much of the pipeline did they bring in. Then of the rest of the pipeline, how much of this can you say is fair to prescribe to marketing? And like you want to have that, if not growing faster than sales, then at least keeping up with the sales of how many outbound meetings is getting booked, and constantly improving, if not percentage wise, then at least the amount of leads that you bring in, and then the value of the leads that you bring in. And maybe one last component I really advise anybody to think about as well is how much are you willing to pay for a lead or a deal that you source. Typically, the answer is pretty crisp. If you ask the outbound department, hey, we booked 100 meetings last week, we have 4 employees doing it, their salary is this, hence a meeting costs this.
Yes.
Too few marketing teams have actually established what is our target cost per acquisition. So by establishing this, you have like a metrics where you can say, are we below or above the target? If we're below what we're willing to pay, then we should actually be funneling in more money to marketing.
Yeah.
Or at least if you compare sales and marketing one-on-one, and if they were equal, I would pour much more money into marketing, because you don't see all the seeds that you plant, all the other people that are hit by your marketing, whereas you have one converted demo call, but maybe another 5,000 people actually saw the brand. Whereas in outbound, it's this kind of one-on-one poke that you're doing, and it's not leaving a lot of spillover effect on your brand.
Right.
So do have the conversations in your team. What can we afford to pay for a certain business outcome?